Hey everyone, this is Nitro. So it's time to do another Nitro setup video, and I've gone from doing these every single week to doing them more bi-weekly because I've started to realize that not too much actually changes in a single week, but in 2 weeks you generally do have some changes. So let's begin by talking about the Dragon Farm results, as always. And I'm just going to bring up the Dragon Farm results of these last 2 weeks. The first week overall was rather dry, to be perfectly honest. For example, I picked up Windcutter Dagger, Jormungandr's Eye, King's Amulet from the Timeless Trial, Frost Wren, Carbon Fiber Helmet, a Star Earring, another Carbon Fiber Armor, Twilight Helmet, 2 Reaper's Breath, a Galaxy Cloak, and that's it. So all of this stuff was turned into ore in that first week. So nothing too special, but last week was amazing. I did 3 weapon gambles just because I was kind of desperate, and I managed to get myself a balanced blade last week. The other 2 were useless, Devil Axe, Bloody Melody, but the balanced blade more than makes up for it. Getting the balanced blade has really, I guess, made my PvP team for Apex Arena come to life. I'll talk about that later though. In addition to that, on Tuesday, picked up 2 more SSRs, a Last Night and a Peacemaker, which were frankly just more ore. In addition, on Wednesday, I went through all of my 4 event items in one go, and I managed to get myself a Ragnarok. The other items were kind of garbage: Carbon Fiber Helmet, Carbon Fiber Armor, and the Slayer's Emblem. But once again, picking up these key pieces of equipment is huge. So last week, a balanced blade and a Ragnarok, which is just amazing. After that, Death's Robe, more ore. And then on Sunday, which was yesterday, I picked up a Peacemaker, a Hydra Bow, and a Cursed Lance. So ore, I kind of kept the Hydra Bow because I find myself in desperate need of more ranged attack weapons. So I may build one up if I get 4 of them. And I'm keeping the Cursed Lance on hand for now because Cursed Lance is endgame equipment. Even though right now I only have one for Luna, even though my Luna is not even a Pegasus Knight yet. So overall though, picking up 2 core items is huge. So jumping back into the game, I'll briefly mention the core PvP items that I'm still missing. So I'll just bring it up the gallery to do so. So in terms of weapons, the main one that I'm still missing is truly just the Extreme Magic Bow. I am missing 9, weapons, SSR weapons here. But the only one I truly want now is the Extreme Magic Bow, which, I'm still hoping I can get one, because frankly speaking, until you get an Extreme Magic Bow, Joshua is kind of mediocre. Once you have one for him, he becomes amazing, right? The fact that he can, throw out an AoE attack, then get into melee range to finish off something, or counter attack and kill off something is huge. So I'm hoping that I can get my hands on an Extreme Magic Bow sooner or later. Lots of assassins really want the Extreme Magic Bow, but I think the character that needs it first is Joshua. After that, probably Zerida, and then after that, the other assassins. But, having this balanced blade makes me very, very happy, I have to say. So, other than the weapons, which I only need 1 of, in terms of the armors, there's 2 that I really do want. Aeolus' Battle Armor or Bloodline Magic Armor. Yes, these things only have a 30% chance to activate, but when they activate, they keep your character alive, which can win you matches, right? If your character doesn't die when he's supposed to, your healer can heal them up afterwards and let you win a match. So, fingers crossed that I might pick one of these up, but I'm not exactly in a rush to get them. It's not like I'm going to gamble for these, for sure. Helmet-wise, I'm only missing 4 items. Of these 4, 3 of them are actually exclusives. So effectively, I'm only just missing 1. And the one that I'm missing is really the best one for mages and healers, arguably, which is the Tenyo's headdress. Because the random buff potentially providing additional mobility is so huge for winning matches. I want to get as many Tenyo's headdresses as I possibly can. Like one for every single mage and healer would be ideal for PvP purposes, but realistically, we'll see. At least, I don't even have a single one right now, right? So what I find for PvP is for every archer and assassin, and maybe even flyer, you want a King's Crown. And then for every mage and healer, you probably want a Tenyo's headdress for every single one, for more chances to apply random buffs, preferably movement increasing buffs, right? But yeah, Tenyo's headdress, whether I would gamble for one, probably not. I'm in such dire need of epic martial spirits right now that I can't afford to gamble for them. But in the future, I think I will start gambling for Tenyo's headdress because I think it's just that important for PvP. So yeah, you know, but right now I am definitely still gambling for weapons. I could, as I said, I really do want more extreme magic bows, but I admit I am also willing to wait a bit, save up, because when this Kagekiden Armory banner ends, you can start getting the Aqualine Ghostblade, I believe, the equivalent of it, from gambling. So when in 10 days, I suppose, that's when I'll start gambling for weapons once again. I personally think weapons is the top priority, you know. All the others are nice to haves, but not absolutely required. At least I'm doing reasonably well in Apex Arena without a lot of these items, right? So yeah, that's the equipment status at this time. And next, what should I mention? Let's see. Major changes in the past 2 weeks. Well, I've been continuing to gamble on enchants like crazy, so whenever I get these rare enchant gift packs, I've been pretty much using them up, which is why I'm generally broke in terms of cash. Nothing too good has happened though. For example, I have replaced Lana's Dark Crown with an Odin's Battle Helm, and I've changed all her enchants to Breeze, right? With a focus on intelligence increase, right? There's 15 here, 4 here. No intelligence increase on this one, but there's a 9% intelligence increase on her Holy Ring. So I did kind of change up her equipment quite a bit. For example, she has a Baldur's White Robe now, so if she gets melee attack, she has a chance to counter and kill the opponent. Yeah, but so that's been some changes to Lana. I will have to continue to reroll this Breeze enchant, hoping for, let's say, 15% hit points and 5% int, but that would be the ideal, right? So there's Lana changes so far. Leon really has not had any changes for the longest time. Although what I'm finding now is I really do need to re-roll him for more attack value. With the Overlord's Badge, there's been times where he fails to one-shot targets. So I'm going to have to look into re-rolling some of his Full Moon enchants for a bit more attack. Because the change was this Overlord's Badge, right? He used to have a Wing Shin Guard, and the Wing Shin Guard gave 10% attack with 8% for an 18% attack increase. Right now, the Overlord's Badge gives 7% plus 5, which is 12%. So I lost 6% attack value, which is what is causing Leon to no longer one-shot targets. So probably re-roll this a few times, try to get 10% attack increase here, and that'll be fine. That 3% should make a difference, and if I have to, I may re-roll one of these, well, probably this one, this Full Moon for, 5% attack and hit point percent increase. So Leon, work in progress after all. Elwyn has also changed to Breeze enchant, and right now it's looking okay. I mean, he has, although I actually have to re-roll him a bit as well. He's missing some attack value, specifically on the Peacemaker. 17 attack and 9% attack is really awkward. So this Peacemaker needs a reroll. And frustratingly enough, I was rerolling the enchant on the Chief's helmet yesterday. Look at this enchant. This is like the perfect juggler enchant, just about. Or leaden, right? 11% magic defense, 11% defense, 5% hit points. Incredibly frustrating to get this on Elwyn. I also had rerolled this a few times. I think I also got a 15% magic defense and like 10% hit point enchant, which would have been perfect for Listel. So I was getting great enchants for Elwyn, but they were enchants that were meant for Listel and Juggler or Leaden, not for Elwyn, which was the RNG factor of enchanting. Zerda, I've given her an Overlord's badge as well for now. Seems to be working out so far. I mean, she's able to consistently one-shot targets, so you know, I could reroll this enchant for 10%, right, and hit points rather than defense and int, but yeah, not exactly a top priority at this time, I think. Zerda is doing her job, so I won't be rerolling the enchants on her till later. Tiaris, her equipment set needs the Sage's Hat replaced first of all, which is why one of the reasons why I want Antonio's headdress as a replacement. But other than that, you know, she needs some rerolls on enchants for sure. Specifically, she needs more hit points. Like this really needs to give hit points, the Death's Robe, not magic defense and int. Int and hit points would be ideal for the Death's Robe. And as for the Holy Ring, currently it only gives hit points, but no int increase at all. So she is doing reduced healing, but a bit more survivability. But yeah, work in progress as well for Tiaris' equipment set. It really should look like Leanna's in truth. You know, lots of hit point increases, even at the cost of some intelligence. But we'll see. The ideal is everything gives int and hit points, right? But that's a work in progress. The Sage's Hat, I don't really plan to reroll this enchant simply because I'm going to be waiting to replace it. And the replacement, ideally of course, will continue to be Tenyo's headdresses, which I don't have a single one of at this time. Leanna's gear is pretty much complete. You know, I could reroll for more intelligence, but I don't really mind. I'd rather have her be able to survive. This weekend, in fact, there was a battle where I think she survived an attack simply because of all these hit point increase enchants. So it's paying off, the high amount of hit points. Next set of gear would be on Bozel, and Bozel's gear hasn't changed for a while. I haven't even rerolled the enchants on them, so we'll just skip him. Landius is pretty much the same. He could use better enchants in truth, but because both his armor and his helmet only give a 15% increase in total in defense and hit points, right? You should, given that you can have 15% hit points and 15% defense, right? That's potentially 30% of each at max. And I don't have anywhere close to it. So my Landius enchants are kind of meh, to be honest. But Landius is performing more or less as expected for now, so I haven't felt the need to reroll them yet. You know. There's other priorities, in my opinion, right now. And then Leaden is not used for PvP at all, so I can kind of skip him. But I have replaced his Aeneas' helmet with a Charon, as you see here, right? There was the level 50 Aeneas' helmet with the 14% defense increase. It's now a Charon with 11% defense increase, which is a drop. But since it gives defense itself, it kind of balances out. The annoyance... it's slightly annoying that it's only level 40 right now rather than level 50, but Leaden is still one-shotting everything, so we'll leave it until I need to upgrade it. Luna is the next character. Her equipment set has not changed. Her enchants have not changed at all. My worry is that I may have to reroll these two, right? This one's 11% magic defense with no hit point increase. And then this one is 10% hit points, which is nice, but the magic defense value increases only 7%, which is not enough, right? Attack is king for PvP. in general. Well, attack and hit points, I should say. So I'm going to have to look into potentially re-rolling Luna's enchants in the future. Once again, she's currently not top priority in terms of upgrades for me right now because I'm not even using her in my Apex team. So next is Bernhard, who has gotten the most change last week because he's gotten himself a Balanced Blade. This Balanced Blade currently has a complete garbage enchant, so this 100% needs a reroll. There's not even a single percentage increase on this Balanced Blade right now. It's just a mere 19 attack increase, which is basically 5%, right? So this is completely a top priority reroll at this time, but I don't have the gold to, so I'll do it later this week in preparation. He has, carbon fiber armor, carbon fiber helmet, both of them focused on a bit of hit point increases, no attack increase at all, so I may look at re-rolling these. And he currently actually has speed boots for +1 mobility. This one could be replaced for sure, but in order to replace it, I truly need to get an Apex boots, which I don't have a copy of right now. So eventually, this will be replaced. For now, it's working out fine. And that's Bernhard. Juggler! I have been re-rolling enchants for him, and I have not had any luck with regards to getting better enchants, right? As I mentioned, you really want the hit point percentage, defense percentage, and magic defense percentage. But good luck getting that on an enchant for Juggler. So he is very much a work in progress, as my other tank is Landius and Juggler. Both tanks are works in progress. Listel is looking okay. Her enchants are pretty solid in truth. Good amount of hit point increase here. The only one that I'm really wondering about is this. The Thorns enchant. It's kind of hard. It's on one hand, I really do like the 15% magic defense. On the other hand, there is no hit point increase whatsoever. So I'm kind of torn. For now, though, Listel is kind of doing okay for me, so we'll leave it. Yeah, that pretty much kind of concludes it. The other thing is, Listel is so rarely played. She's almost always banned. So since I basically never get to play her, I haven't been giving her enchant upgrades much of a priority. Renee is fairly new to my party. She is only 4 stars, but she has her own set of gear right now with Clock's enchant. She's currently using an Astaroth because I've built this as I actually built the Astaroth in preparation for a single target strike Lana, but haven't really used it, so gave it to Renee for now. She actually has a Tenuous Robe with a good amount of hit point increase. A Dark Crown with int increase. This one I feel needs a reroll. She doesn't really need the magic defense, I feel. I'd be better off with hit points and int. So yeah, works in progress everywhere. And then this one has 9% int with 2% hit points. I'm kind of happy with that roll for now. So Renee, new addition. She's been used in my Apex team, but she also frequently gets banned. Her bonds, though, definitely need some upgrading, I think. Because she's 4 stars, she's very vulnerable to being killed right now, which means I really do need to max out her heart bond. And since I actually was able to upgrade it once, I will. So she's actually pretty close to completing her heart bond in truth. So once I max out her bonds, she should have a decent amount of survivability. Even though she's only at 4 stars, right? I'm basically balancing out the low star level with high hit point enchants on her gear. After Renee is going to be Leonhard. And Leonhard, it has been built for a while. I'm actually thinking I need to replace this Lone Star Amulet in truth, because what I'm personally finding is my Leonhard very rarely it's very rare for him to attack away from enemies within 2 blocks, or with no friendly units within 2 blocks right now anyways. Maybe that will change as I upgrade my Leonhard. But yeah, right now it's very rare for him to A, be able to be played, and B, be AoEing away from his allies. So, kind of awkward. Next, Rachel. Although that may actually change a bit as I start having teleporters like Iris, right? Because Iris will allow me to potentially teleport Leonhard forward and then have him toss out 2 AoEs. So maybe the Lone Star Amulet will work out. But it's one of those things that will wait. It's a wait and see situation, very much so. Rachel currently has very odd pieces of gear. She has 2 level 50 items for high attack value, but she actually has level 20 items other than that. So she has no survivability at this time due to the complete lack of hit points. I'm using her currently more for, well, for PvE stuff. That pretty much sums it up. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna remove her gear completely because in truth, I'm not really using her. I'm gonna throw that gear on someone else that I do occasionally use. Like, for example, Jessica for Guild Wars. Yeah. It just seems to make more sense than having that stuff on Rachel. So there we go. Just moved a few pieces of gear. After Rachel, Altamuller doesn't have an equipment set right now. Angelina's equipment set is actually on Varna. And let me just move that back to Varna. And I actually need to change it up a bit. It currently has a Rough Sea enchant, right? When attacking, that attack increases by 10%. But Varna never attacks like that in the first place. So this enchant is effectively useless. She's always tossing up 1,000 arrows, right? So in truth, the better enchant for her would actually be Full Moon. Right? Full Moon, or even, let's say, Magic. Because Magic would... Magic, like Leonhard, would allow her to have increased skill damage, right? 15% increased damage with her skills. So, we'll see. What I'll probably do though is just keep this set of equipment and then replace all these pieces of gear with new items. For example, maybe a Twilight Helm for her, right? Replace the Gargoyle Jacket with, let's say, I don't know, a Kagekitan uniform. And then replace this Devil's Axe, probably, with a Full Moon Ragnarok. So I'll have to build a new set of gear for Varna. That is very much a work in progress. Gold related. So after Varna, is there really anyone else to talk about? I don't think so. I mean, Shafaniel, her equipment set is currently kind of mixed as well. I'm using her more for PvE than PvP, so it works out. She currently has Lana's Black Bride, which is at level 20. Needs upgrading, of course. I mean, I'm building a second set for Lana for Ancient's Call. Rather than the Spree's enchant set, I'm going to be building a clock set for Lana. So it will be the Black Bride which is currently on Shafaniel. Upgrade that to level 50. I'll use the Rene's Astaroth, right, to level 50. And then I'll probably throw in, these 2 items from Rene, the Dark Crown and the Holy Ring. And we'll have a Clock's enchant set for Lana for Ancient's Call. Moving on. So you can see there's a lot of sets of gear in progress, right? This Star Earring, by the way, was built up purely from picking up 4 Star Earrings. So another level 50 SSR item, which, as I said, I'm slowly building up more sets of gear. Just without having to, I guess, gamble for it. Or use Epic Martial Spirits, which is a nice plus. Other than that, I think that's all my current sets of gear. I really don't think there's any other additional sets. I mean, for example, Freya is slowly building up a Holy Arc. I'm slowly building up a Thorn set for her for fixed damage. So I'm going to reroll this enchantment eventually, this Aeneas' Helmet. She currently has a level 50 Cursed Lance, which is actually meant for Luna. When I turn Luna into a Pegasus Knight, hasn't happened yet. And yeah. Oh, there is one more set actually, and that's on Imelda. Imelda has so my Imelda is for PvP, right? And her primary purpose is fixed damage immunity via Gorgeous Red. So she has a meditation ring to give herself immunity to fixed damage, a Galaxy Cloak with 14% hit point increase and 4% int for survivability, and then right now a Purgatory with 7% hit point increase and 10% int. So kind of a priority on survivability over intelligence. Her main goal is, after all, is to survive AoE strikes. If she can do that, it's golden. Unfortunately though, my Imelda right now is only 5 stars, which is a huge limiting factor on her survivability. So hopefully, with more banners, I'll pick up more copies of Imelda and have her hit 6 stars. I just need 100 shards, which is 5 more copies of her. We'll see how that goes. And then last but not least, I guess there are 2 more. I have so many equipment sets, way more than I expected in truth. But the last 2 sets are basically garbage sets, purely meant for PvE content. Because this is a Greenleaf coat, this is a Sage's hat, right? So there are 2 SSRs, but these 2 items clearly need replacement. But right now, she's just used for PvE, so this is fine. And then Sophia is pretty much the exact same, just for PvE, so she has 3 SR items. In fact, one of them is a level 40 Devout Coat, which is complete garbage. But once again, for PvE, where she's not targeted, it's working out. Oh, and one thing I should mention is I've already fully built up my Iris. So she already has double class mastery, and they're both fully mastered. So I put 2 runestones in her, upgraded everything there. She is incredible for the teleport, right? She can teleport herself, teleport allies, and heal like crazy with Lovely Heart and Dolly giving her a AoE heal after taking action. So lots of utility for Iris. I generally just move a set of gear from someone else onto her when it comes to PvP, but which will probably be either Chloe or it's generally either Chloe or Sophia's set that gets moved. But clearly, so there is still need to upgrade more equipment as always, which is why that Tenyos robe, which is currently I think on Jessica, definitely needs to be built up. Right? I need this upgraded so that I can use it. So, need to limit, basically, in conclusion, I need to limit the amount of gambling I do and prioritize continuing to upgrade new items. Because I picked up a lot of new items recently, right? For example, there is the Tenyos robe that I just mentioned. You know, there's a Soul Stealer headdress that I could upgrade. There is Ragnarok I need to upgrade. And then, you know, there's these Twilight helmets, and so on and so on. So tons of gear that I need to upgrade to level 50. And so I'm going to limit the amount of gambling I do in general. Alright, so that's pretty much my gear. That took a while to cover, didn't it? And I guess I'll talk about my current shard farming and I guess training ground and bonds. Training ground, first of all, it's all almost done, in truth, right? Infantry was long completed. Holy was completed a long time ago. Lancer has been completed, so I finally did all the remaining upgrades for the attack to max out the advanced attack and get the core attack to level 14. Cavalry has 2 upgrades left, and that's hit points upgrades. 2 more to go. This is just a gold limitation, so I can do this upgrade very soon, and then there'll just be 1 more upgrade to do. So Cavalry is also nearly done. Flyer. Flyer is also needs a bit more hit point upgrades, just 2 of them. So, and the Flyer one, well, unlike the cavalry one, I don't really farm the Flyer Anarchy, so I am missing some of these rare breeding material books. But just from doing, expeditions, I will be able to get that to level 14 this week for sure, and then that'll just be one more upgrade, which is pretty minor. The Flyer training ground though, there's a lot of soldiers who need upgrades. For example, Griffin Knights I should probably raise to level 10. Lobster Behemoth needs to be raised to level 10 for Juggler. Holy Pegasus needs to be raised to level 10 if I'm to use them for the 100% damage reduction, right? For Luna. So, 3 different soldiers that still need to be finished. A lot of materials there. Archer and Assassin training ground. This one is the one that's least complete, but it's also getting up there, right? The percentage upgrades have been finished. It's just hit points and defense. And magic defense. So it's just the advanced training. And the advanced training is at level 13 right now. So, for both of them. But this should actually happen pretty fast because Anarchy Jones, the Archer Anarchy, is the one I farm the most right now. Every Monday, I do 2 battles of Anarchy Jones for the dailies. Every Thursday, I do the same thing. And every Sunday as well. So I do this 6 times per week right now. So it's in large part it's because I need crazy shorts and burning straps. I need lots of them. So it's working out. Basically, all of these training grounds should be finished when I do the next video in 2 weeks. Which kind of makes me happy in truth, because I'll be done with upgrading all the training ground with gold materials, but then I'll be stuck with looking at the SSR materials. And that's pretty much the status of my training ground. So, last but not least, I guess it's bonds. And more characters have their bonds basically complete, as you can see here, right? They organize these characters by the amount of bond upgrade percentage that has been complete. So, everyone above Bozel is pretty much done in truth. Right? There may be minor upgrades for these characters. For example, let's say Luna is missing her strength bond, which I don't plan to ever upgrade. Liana is missing a few bonds here and there, actually. She has a few more toughness upgrades and strength upgrades and even heart bond upgrades, but she's actually been able to survive almost everything, so I haven't seen a need to fully max her out. Renee is getting up there, as I mentioned, with the bond upgrades. She'll probably be my current target of completion since I'm actually using her in my party. And yeah. One character I should mention that I'm definitely looking at upgrading right now is Shafaniel. And there's various reasons why I'm going to be upgrading Shafaniel. The primary one is her factions and the fact that she's a faction buffer. Well, the other aspect is that she is nearly at 5 stars. So she's probably going to be slotted into my party very soon. I just need to put 2 runestones into her to get double class mastery. And she will be joining my PvP Apex Arena party as one of my characters. Because as being Relist Legends means she can get faction buffed by Landius. Being a faction buffer for Princess Alliance means she can buff up a lot of my other characters that I currently use, like Tieris and Liana and Lana, right? And even Joshua when I throw him in. So Shafaniel could fit into my party quite well, especially since I use Iris as one of my healers too. At the very least, she gets added as another AoE attacker who can basically be a pain in the butt to deal with. It gives another character that my enemies have to ban. So Shafaniel is slowly going to be built up, along with Luna. So that will add in 2 Princess Alliance faction buffers. One is an AoE attacker, And then one will probably be in her Pegasus Knight form when she gets added into my party, and she'll be like a single target striking killer. But yeah, so let's then mention shard farming. So, unlike what I expected, there has not been a double Gate of Fate event for a while. And if I bring up the Langrisser Mobile schedule from the Langrisser Mobile's reference sheet, there doesn't actually seem to be one coming up anytime soon, in truth. Just give me a moment here to bring that up. Okay, here we go. So, taking a look at this, it's currently October, right? And I'm not actually seeing any double Gate of Fate event coming up. November 7th has a +1 daily bonus run for Anarchy Gym, Training School, Goddess Trial, and Bonding Realm. But I'm not seeing any kind of double Gate of Fate event at all. So, I'm scrolling up. There is, from this list, there isn't any such event all the way up to December, unfortunately. So, yeah. Sadly, it looks like we're not going to get any 2 times Gate of Fate runs, which is very disappointing. But, with that said, it is also the normal situation. Getting 2 times Gate of Fate is a rare event, right? So, I'm going to have to figure out how to get my characters ready for the Apex Arena playoffs if I can make it into the top 256. Which is frustrating because, for example, Juggler needs 8 more days to get him to 5 stars. Listel needs 18 shards, which is 6 days. Leonhard needs 16 shards, which is, I guess, 6 days as well. And then Shafaniel needs 27 shards, which is 9 days. So I can get all of them for sure. Without doubt, I can get all of these guys completed. But the other problem is I also have to keep grinding up Luna. Because Luna needs 30 days to hit 6 stars. And Ancient's Call is coming up, right? Ancient's Call begins on November 21st. November 21st, which is, I guess, a month and a week from now, roughly. So what I'm currently planning is I'm going to take those 7 days and finish up one of these characters, like for example, Listel. And then once Listel is done, I will continue to farm Luna. So right now what I'm doing is Juggler, Listel, and Leonhard. These 3. Once Listel is done, I will be doing Luna, Juggler, and Leonhard until Juggler is done, and then I'll finish off Shafaniel. So that's my current plan. And that should work out, because... or at least, that's the best way I can get it to work, as far as I can tell anyways. So that will give me a 5-star Leonhard, right? A 5-star Juggler to use, and a 5-star Listel, and Shafaniel will be 4 stars until the playoffs, which, but then on the playoffs, she will be 5 stars. So yeah, that is my current setup, more or less. 1, 2, 3, 4. And at this point, it's to talk about my bonds and plans. The very interesting thing about this is in 2 weeks, Claret is being released, right? And that is going to throw everything out of whack as well. Because if I get Claret, I don't know if I'm going to get her, but if I do get her, she's yet another character to grind. So I don't know how I'm going to do it. Luna is a must grind for PvP and PvE content. I think Juggler in truth is almost a must grind too, unless I leave him at 5 stars, which I'm not that willing to do. So if I have, and then Leonhard is also a must grind because I have to bring him to 6 stars. So I don't know how I'm going to fit this in. I mean, Listel, I'm definitely going to leave at 5 stars. There's no way for me to bring her up to 6 stars. Shafaniel, pretty much the same. 5 stars and I'll leave her. But then I end up with having 4 characters to grind up to 6 stars. So, big problem there. Maybe we'll see. I really don't know how I'm going to work that out. So, we'll see. It could be that I just focus on completely grinding these 3 and ignore Claret until December, right? Don't even try to pull for her. But with that said, I really do want Claret because I think she is the counter to Zerida, right? Completely disabling her hide and seek. So, and if I use both Luna and Shafaniel in my party, that's 2 princess faction buffers. Why wouldn't I bring Claret? It just doesn't make sense. So yeah. At the end of the day, I may have to choose not to grind one of these characters, and I don't know who the character I'm not going to grind will be. So we'll see. So thanks for watching, everyone. This was quite a long Nitro setup video, but I figured that I would do these twice, I guess, bi-weekly rather than every single week, and try to make them more comprehensive. I hope you found this video interesting or useful. And on that note, Nitro out.